Hi Tara,
Can you hear me?
I hear you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
Doing well, doing well. Let's see here. I think we have a few others we're looking to join. Sounded like Josh was going to join, so we'll wait for
Yep.
him. He's not going to join today. He changed
He,
his mind.
he is. He
Oh, okay.
is.
All right, perfect. And then I believe, were we waiting on one more CSR?
I am not sure. I just know I had to be here.
Okay. He said, be there, be square, right?
Yep.
Sounds about right. So is this your first introduction to Power Selling Pros then?
Yes.
All right, awesome. Well, it's an honor to be the one to give you the introduction to Power Selling Pros. So very glad that you are here. Just to give you a little bit of information without needing to have to repeat too much later. We are ultimately a coaching company that helps create wow experiences. Uh,
Okay.
there's so many resources out there for technicians, right? Like they go to
Right.
school to do what they do, right? So they go to school, they get an education, they have so many different workshops and training seminars that they can go to, and then there's nothing for CSRs.
Hmm.
So, like, how is that fair? Like just throwing
Yeah.
us on the phones and saying, hey, create a connection and good luck booking these calls. And it's not fair. So Power Selling Pros saw that opportunity and we're like, we can do that. We can help people create that connection. We can take everything to the next level because we're already great CSRs. It's how can we take it to that next level? And
Right.
being able to have a one-on-one coach that you can talk to about objections and challenges that you may come across. You're like, I didn't handle this situation very well, and I don't know how to, quite frankly, I don't know how I could have handled it any differently. And that's why we're here. That's what Power Selling Pros does. So we learn how to create that connection over that transaction and help take our already fantastic customer service skills to a wow customer service skill.
Okay.
Yeah, beautiful. If you don't mind, I am going to turn off my camera real quick, give them a second to join. I am going to run to the restroom. Forgive me. I am
You are good to go.
33 weeks pregnant and I have to pee every like 20 minutes. So,
Oh, goodness. Congratulations.
you
I
just
know that feeling. I've been there. Do
yeah.
what you got to do.
Mhm. Forgive me. I went right before we started, and of course, she's on my bladder. So I will
Uh-huh.
be right
Of
back,
course.
you folks.
Yep. No problem.
Okay, there's Josh here. Come on. Hey, Josh. You are muted. Can you hear me okay?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, sorry about that.
You are a-okay. How are you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
I am doing so good. Trying to stay warm. I don't know if you guys are also getting hit with this Arctic blast coming through, but
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a cold one today.
Kansas is definitely getting it. It stopped snowing last night, thankfully, but it says that it's 8 degrees and feels like -9. So it's a fun one.
I believe it. Yeah, we've had quite a few sub-zero days to say the least. So
Oh,
I'm right there. Yeah,
got my heater on in my office. I'm staying as warm as possible over here.
nice. There you go.
Were we waiting on one more?
No, she's in here. It'll just be the two of us for today.
Okay.
Like I had mentioned in the last meeting, we're looking to currently kind of expand our office, so we're still kind of bringing people on board, that sort of thing. And Andrew in our office, who's one of our other office people, he's gone this week, so he's not
Okay.
able to join.
Hey, that is okay. This is all going to be a recorded training. So I will be able to send you this recording and you can use it for any onboarding processes, or if Andrew wants to watch it once he's back in office, he can take that time to split it up and watch some of it.
All right, that sounds good.
All right, awesome. Well, I always encourage cameras to be on. If you guys have cameras, it's nice and encouraging to put a face to the name.
Sure, I'll
But
see if I can turn my
yeah,
camera on here.
awesome. And so we have Tara, we've got Josh. Forgive me, Josh, can you remind me the name of the CSR that you have with you?
So like Tara's doing some of the phone stuff, and then Andrew does some, and then
Oh, okay.
We're currently looking to bring some more people on board too.
Okay, forgive me.
So it'd be kind of a combination of, say, like Andrew, Tara, and whoever else we bring on board.
Great. All right. Well, Tara, tell me a little bit about you. How long have you been with Clark Companies, and how long have you been on the phone?
Not long with Clark Companies, about a month now. But I've always worked in an office and I've always been on the phone. So,
Story of your life, right?
yep.
Do you have previous history with landscaping or any other home?
Not landscaping, but construction. I ran a finished trim and carpentry business for about 8 years. So,
So within the home service industries for sure.
yep.
All right. Now, one thing I always like to ask Tara is, what's one thing that you find challenging being on the phone? Are there any objections that you receive that may be
It's
challenging?
more so because it seems a lot of the communication is through text messages and pictures with Clark Companies.
Yeah,
And with some of the older clients, it's hard to get pictures,
sure.
hard to
Oh,
get that communication through.
that technology side that
Yeah.
would potentially
Yep.
hold us back. Okay.
Yep.
Look, I love
Other
my
than that, it's just knowing the material and stuff like that, which comes with experience. So,
yes. No, I hear you. Look, I was like, I love my grandma, but every time I go over, she's like, show me how to use this damn iPhone again. Every time someone
yep.
shows me how to use it, they show me something different.
Mhm.
Bless her heart, it was my grandpa's phone and he passed away in December. So she's like, now I'm stuck with this phone that I can't even use. I'm like, oh,
Yep.
sweetheart, it's fine. We'll get through it. She is not a fan of technology, to say the least. Or she's calling me, I need a mole service. Call someone now. I'm like, all right, I
Mhm.
got you. I love it. Okay, yeah, we could definitely talk about that and what other opportunities we may have to help them and still create that wow experience. Absolutely. And Josh, of course, we already know who you are, but can you go ahead and give me a little bit more of an introduction? How long have you been doing landscaping?
So we're going on our ninth year in business. Like I said, I'm not really on the office side of things too much, but
Yeah,
since Andrew's gone this week, just kind of helping fill in and facilitate on this side of things.
awesome. So you guys have been in business for 9 years. How much experience do you have personally?
I guess like before I started the business, I had, probably 4 to 6 years of landscape experience.
Okay, awesome. Very cool. Well, I love to hear that we're ready to go and that we're ready to jump on into this. So I kind of already gave Tara just kind of a rundown of who we are, what we do here, creating that wow experience, the customer service experience with the one-on-one coaching and that kind of jazz. So just to kind of give you guys an idea of Power Selling Pros as a whole. So Power Selling Pros was created by our owner and operator, Brigham Dickinson, around about 16 years ago now, when he was in marketing. So he was working for a marketing company and there were just lead after lead after lead for some reason. He's like, I can't figure out why you guys keep losing leads. And he jumped on the phone and he realized that there was a big disconnect between this connection over this transaction. And that is where Power Selling Pros was born. And that's a lot of what we're going to focus today, is that customer service or that connection versus that transaction. So if I were to say bad customer service, you go to this one place and they just have horrendous customer service, who would that be?
I mean, for me, I would say like any like really large company. Like I feel like anytime you deal with like Verizon Wireless or like State Farm Insurance or someone that's just like massive, it's hard to get decent service.
Okay, tell me more. What would make them have bad customer service? Like you call Verizon and what just doesn't settle with you?
I mean, really, it just seems like for me at least, whoever I talk to isn't really able to help with whatever the problem is that I'm having. And then they just keep transferring you to people and really seems like you're never really talking with the right person to solve whatever your problem is.
Lack
Right.
of training.
Lack of training. Yeah, definitely. They give you that runaround. They're not helpful. I mean, ultimately, and then they try to upsell you stuff too. Like, oh, well, we
Yeah,
have
I,
a
I
promotion.
guess sometimes.
And I'm like, no, I'm calling because this one isn't working and you're trying to sell me another one? Like, no, thank you. Yeah, so just yeah, the lack of training, that they're not helpful, all of those are great examples of what can lead to bad customer service. Tara, do you have any business in mind that you could think of that lacks customer service?
Not that he hasn't said already, it's more so those big corporate companies.
Yeah, absolutely. Say McDonald's is mine.
Mm.
I put an online order, right? I got two kids in the car. I'm not gonna go through the drive-through and listen to them scream at me, and I'm not gonna go inside because they're gonna want to play. So I put the order in online, I pull up, I check in with my number, and the girl comes out. She doesn't even look at me. She looks the other way and starts handing me my drinks through my window. I'm like, okay, first of all, please don't drop that on me. It's cold, it's freezing outside. I don't want to be soaking sticky with soda. Never says, how are you doing? Have a nice day. Just looks the opposite direction and hands me. Like, okay, no eye contact, no communication. You don't want to be here. You don't like your job. Got it. Understood. What about good customer service besides Clark's company? Because we're the best. We already know that. But who else would you guys label as good customer service?
Mm.
I mean, I would just say like, there's a lot of businesses out there with great customer service, but sometimes smaller businesses, I guess, where you're kind of able to deal with someone that's a little more experienced one-on-one, or at least cares a little bit more about providing a good experience. You're not as much of a just a number to them.
Okay, so small businesses like mom and pop shops in town.
Not
Yep.
even just mom and pop, but like just somebody that's, maybe a little smaller than say like a Verizon Wireless or a State Farm, or someone that puts a little more value on their client experience.
Well, and it's not just that, it's people that value their employees. When your employees are happy, they're going to be happier and help the people
Oh,
that
right.
they're their customers.
You're so right there. Yeah, we're not motivated until we have that good person ahead of us to make us motivated to give the
Mhm.
next person the experience. I totally agree there. Yeah, so what you guys just did is you guys kind of already told me what it means to feel transactional and to have a connection. Get my screenshot here. So with that transaction, we're thinking of Verizon, we're thinking of State Farm, where they're not helpful. We feel like maybe they have that lack of training because they're giving us the consistent runaround. They're not getting from point A to point B, and they're just not providing me the information that I need, nor do I want. Where that connection is going to feel like our small businesses, and when we interact with them, they care about you, they value their customers, right? We feel like we're being taken care of, we feel heard. And that is
Yep.
everything to do with that connection over that transaction. So being transactional can mean a couple of things. This means it can mean as soon as the smallest thing goes wrong, we assume that we're not cared for enough. They didn't care enough for me. We tend to assume the worst, even when the slightest thing goes wrong. It's like Verizon, as soon as they say, oh, yeah, you need to talk to this department. And you're like, no, I already talked to that department, right?
Mhm.
Where that connection is going to always set us up for success. It's how are we going to create that wow experience? So let's go ahead and talk about just the first 30 seconds. 30 seconds is all it takes to create a connection. So let's put ourselves into a scenario. Tara, let's say that we get into the office Monday morning and you come up to me and you say, oh my gosh, Marissa, I just had the worst weekend of my life. Just want to go home and take a nap. Today is not the day. And I respond with, okay, what do you want for lunch? Okay.
It's not going to be a good interaction. I'm just going to probably walk away.
Right. Yeah. So I'm clearly missing some things.
Yeah.
What
Or
am
your weekend wasn't good either.
Oh, right, maybe, who knows? So what, I mean, it obviously needs some work. What would you suggest I would change in that response?
Just being more personable and acknowledging that person's feelings.
Okay, so be more personable, acknowledge, just acknowledge what you're going through.
And
Okay.
ask what happened.
Okay, ask questions, yeah. So same situation, worst weekend ever, you need a nap, and I say, oh, okay. Do you want to talk about it? What happened?
You
Sounds like
still seem
bad.
extremely uninterested.
Okay, I sound uninterested, right?
Tone of voice is a big deal.
Tone of voice is huge. Okay, so you asked me to be more personable, acknowledge it. I acknowledged it by saying, oh, what happened? I asked a question of, do you want to talk about it? Let me change that tone here. So I'm like, oh my gosh, Tara, that sounds awful. You had a horrible weekend? What happened?
Then the conversation would start.
There we go. Okay. So what you just did there is within the first 30 seconds of just a coworker to coworker interaction, you helped me put together a positive interaction. And the biggest thing I want to point out is that, so positive, prepare, listen, care, and yes, none of those principles can stand without the other. The first thing you said is I need to be more personable. I need to acknowledge, I need to listen. So acknowledge could be that care principle. I'm asking questions. That could be that listen principle. And then you said, no, just your tone is still bad. I'm like, okay, let me be a little bit more, it says positive, but we're going to talk about pace and tone. I changed my tone of it. And this is no exception when it comes to our phone calls. If somebody calls in and they say, let me get my notes back up here. Give myself an example. If somebody calls in and they say, yeah, I'm just looking to do a backyard remodel. I need to get my patio redone. And we say, okay, what's your address? What's wrong with that response?
They want to talk about the project, not where it is. You want to ask what they're leading with.
Yeah. Yeah. So if we go right into what's the address, it almost sounds like, oh, I don't care about your backyard. I just want to get us out there. I just want us to get paid.
Yep.
It feels very transactional.
Yep.
So this here is important because the first 30 seconds to a minute of a call, let's say, 30 seconds is 30 seconds. So 30 seconds to a minute is all it takes to create this first impression, meaning that's all it takes to hit these first 5 principles. So I want to go ahead and I want to demonstrate what these first 30 seconds may sound like on a phone call. So I want to go ahead and I want to play the CSR. I'm just going to do a PSP remodel. Well, I'll just call it PSP backyard model or something. I don't know. Probably PSP home services is what I usually use. And give me any situation that you typically handle on the phone now. Josh, will you actually be my customer for this one?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, great. So I'm just going to demonstrate these out. Go ahead and give me a ring and throw whatever you want at me.
Sure. So like if I was calling in, something that we might commonly get is, let's just say, for example, I've got a retaining wall that's failing in my backyard. So I might call in and say, I'm looking to get quotes on replacing the retaining wall that's falling over in my backyard. The timbers are rotted out and it's leaning really badly.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it sounds like you already have a retaining wall in place. It sounds like it's rotted out. Nothing's good about it right now. So you're looking to just have an estimate on how to get that completely replaced for you?
Yeah, it's terrible. It looks like it's about to fall over any day.
Oh my
So,
goodness. Yeah, we don't want that to happen. About how old is that retaining wall?
I'm not sure. It was there when I bought the house.
Okay, all right. How long have you been in the home?
I've lived here for about 20 years.
Okay, wow. Okay, so it's got some good life behind it, that's for sure. Okay, we definitely want to make sure that we get this taken care of. That can be a dangerous situation if someone's near it and it falls. So we can definitely help you with this. And I'm going to stop it right there. What stood out to you guys?
I mean, obviously you had a positive tone and, reassured me that it's something that you'd be able to assist with.
Yeah, positive tone. I reassured. Tara, anything stand out to you?
Just asking the personal questions. How long have you lived there? Acknowledging that and having a personal connection with them, or trying to just learn more about them and not just the project.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. So what I'm doing here is I'm listening. I want to understand the situation. So I'm going to ask about the situation. I mean, and I repeated some information. He told me that he has a retaining wall that doesn't look good. It looks like it's going to fall over. It's rotting. And I restated that important information. Okay, so it sounds like we have one in place. It's rotting. It's not looking like a good situation. And he said, no, it looks like it can fall down any day. I was like, oh my gosh, well, that's definitely not good. We don't want that happening. And then I asked, do you know about how old it is? I went back to finding out a little bit more about this retaining wall, get some more information for us. So when we send our guys out there, they have an idea of what they're working with. I maybe could have asked more questions like, is this on just one side of the house? Is it kind of a round deal? Where is this specific retaining wall located? There's a lot more questions that we could have asked to elevate that a little bit more, but just for this example here. All right, Tara, do you mind playing the CSR for me? I'd like to give you a chance to demonstrate these first 30 seconds and just see how you feel with it.
Sure.
Don't be nervous. You're going to do great. Just do whatever feels natural to you, okay? All right, ring, ring.
Hi, this is Tara with Clark Companies.
Hi, Tara. I was hoping you guys could help me with, I have this big project that I want to do. I'm redoing my garden and I'm looking for some mulch. Is that something you guys can help with?
Yeah, we do mulch. What are you looking at getting?
Yeah, so I have a really big garden area. It's about 20 feet wide, maybe about 3 feet, 4 feet deep, and it's wrapping around the left side of my home. So I'm just hoping to have someone come out and mulch it after I get some plants in.
Okay. Yeah, that's something that we can work with. Um,
I'll
at
stop
this
it.
point, I wouldn't know what to do because I don't know the material and stuff. So
No, you're great. No, you're great. How long do you think that conversation took?
I don't know. Not long.
Not long? Josh, do you
No.
want to give it a guess? How long do you think that conversation took?
I mean, being that obviously she didn't have any information with her for going into detail, and hasn't been with us super long to be trained on kind of all the material types and stuff like that. Probably between 15 seconds and 30 seconds, I would presume. Obviously, it'd be longer normally, having the materials that she needs to, provide that information.
Sure, absolutely. But for the gist of it, she asked me what I was looking into, right? She's asking me what kind of project I'm wanting. She will talk about care. Care can be a difficult topic because, like in my situation, there's nothing wrong. So, how do you show care? But she reassured me that's something that we do and we can help with it. And all it took was 37 seconds.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, so there's definitely more that we add to it, but the whole point of this particular exercise is to show that we can create a connection in just as little as 30 seconds to a minute of a phone call. You did great, Tara. How do
Thanks.
you feel about it?
It was good. Like those first 30 seconds, 1 minute is what I do on the phone. Like I can sell things, but I'm not a salesperson. I don't like it. It's a lot of information, but getting that comfortability with customers, I feel confident in.
Awesome. Well, let's go more into detail with it. Let's find out some of those extra things that we can add in to create that more of a wow experience. And I mean, what we are starting to do here is to create that connection. That is the key thing here, is to get them to like us, trust us, and value us. And this comes straight from Stephen R. Covey, if you guys are familiar with him at all. But by no means do we want to walk up to a person and immediately start having a transactional relationship. No one likes that. I heard a really great example, and it's like if you walk into a restaurant, like you don't even know what you want to eat yet, and the hostess walks you over to the table and asks for your name and your phone number. It'd be a little weird, right?
Yeah.
So instead, what if that hostess walks you to the table and was like, oh, what are you guys in the mood for today? We got some great food. What are you guys thinking? Sits you guys down, like had a little connection with you. And then at the end of the meal, then they ask you for your name and your phone number for like a loyalty program. And wouldn't it feel so weird? Because you built that connection first.
Right.
And that's exactly what we're going to learn how to do. So we have to be able to get people to like us, trust us, and value us if we want them to move forward with our business. So here is everything that we're going to base off today. This is our pattern of excellence. These are the 8 foundation principles that we focus on. We're going to start here with our positivity. We'll wrap around down here these first 5 to yes. These are our connection builders. This is our opportunity to grasp the connection. We'll go into more detail, starting with our ask principle, which is going to be asking for the next step. What's the next step in our process? Building value in our gratitude. So this is going to be more of our logistical side of things. And I really like that we call these principles. They're not action steps. They're principles. And I like that because the definition of a principle is a basic truth that determines behavior. So when we know we need to focus on it, we know we need to have it, we know it needs to be there. How we apply it, however, is up to us. What that means, Tara, is by no way, shape, or form are we going to go through any sort of coaching process and say, you are doing this all wrong, you need to say it this way.
Okay.
Because it's how you apply it is up to you. We want you to shine your personality through. We want you to have your own verbiage. We don't want you to sound like a robot. We want you to sound like Tara.
Right.
So we're going to go through all of these principles today. Now, anything that I say can be changed verbiage-wise. Everyone is going to have their own verbiage, and that's exactly what we want. So let's just take a look at our simplified call flow. So we already talked about those first 5. You can read over this here. Now, have you ever had to follow a script?
Yes.
Okay. So when we're looking at this call flow, how would you say that it's different from a script?
It's just more generalized for an open-ended question
Ooh,
and going to statements.
okay. I like that you pointed that out. It's more open-ended questions. So we're more inviting them instead of telling them.
Yep.
I like that. Good point. Anything else, or Josh, have you ever had to follow a script before?
No, like I said, I'm kind of
Yeah.
less on the office side of things. So
Yeah. No, you're totally right, Tara. It's a script can be horrendous. If you're on step 3 and they're trying to pull you all the way to step 8, you're like, I'm not there yet. And I
Yep.
can't let you do that because I'm still here.
Yep.
Now, the best part about this call flow is no matter where they pull you, you can fall back to wherever you were at to begin with. It is not you have to hit this before you can give this.
Right.
And I'll explain more into that as we go, but that's the best part about it is we don't want you to be robotic. We don't want you to have to follow a script. We want this to be more open to allow you to do your thing and still help the customer get to where they need to be in a timely and orderly manner. So what that means is that a call flow creates structure. And structure is going to allow us for consistency and uniformity, meaning no matter who calls in, when they call in, they're going to provide, when they're going to receive the same exact service that they will with anyone in the office. That's the consistency, the uniformity. It's going to allow for that flexibility. It's going to allow Tara to be Tara and Josh to be Josh and Andrew to be Andrew. And it's also going to allow for some leadership. Not just within the office, as in how can you teach someone what to do if you don't know what you're doing yourself, but it also falls into the leadership as in leading your phone calls. Not giving that customer the opportunity to run all over us. So with that being said, how do we know who's leading your calls?
Should be the customer
You think the customer should be leading the calls?
for the most part, because they're the ones calling in and giving you descriptions of what they want. I
Okay,
guess we kind of lead by direction of the information that we do need in order to help them, but
okay, okay. So the customer calls in, they tell us what they want. How exactly, how do we know who's leading? What is the leader doing?
I suppose we are the ones leading because we're asking the questions to get the information.
Okay, so the leader should be the one asking the questions?
And that's what I would think.
Okay, okay, no, I think you're right. Absolutely. So for example, let me just do a quick customer leading the phone call and CSR leading the phone call example. So
Okay.
the first one can say, "Thank you for calling Clark Companies. My name is Marissa. How can I serve you today?" Yeah, you guys do excavating, right? Yep, we sure do. Okay, so I need some excavating work done. How soon do you think you guys can get out there? Oh, well, it kind of depends. Like what exactly are you doing to excavate? Oh, well, I just have a small project. We just want someone to come out and look at it. Can you guys get out here tomorrow? Oh, yeah, we can do that. Let's do that. So that's an example of the customer leading the call. The customer is asking the questions. The customer is ultimately getting to where they want to be, which is to get somebody out there. So let me turn that and give an example of us leading the phone call. Thank you for calling Clark Companies. My name is Marissa. How can I serve you? Hey, Marissa, you guys work on excavating, right? Yeah, we absolutely do. Are you looking at a project to do? Are you guys thinking of something? What are we looking at excavating? Yeah, a couple different projects. We want to start with this specific one first. We're going to do a little garden area, maybe something in the future. But yeah, so we're doing whatever. The customer tells us what they're doing. Okay, great. So you guys are looking to do a small project first. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? Like what size, what cube, length, width, whatever information we need to get, right? Are you looking at? And then they're going to tell us. And then we're going to ask another question. And then they're going to tell us again. Right? Getting them to where they need to be in a timely manner. So we're getting all that information and leading that call. So what happens here is we tend to get stuck in this listen, respond movement. We're listening to the customer and we respond. Do you guys do excavating? Yep, sure do. Do you guys work on patio remodels? Yeah. Leaves the customer kind of in that awkward position to find the questions themselves. So you're absolutely right, Tara. The person who's leading the call should be the one asking all the questions, and that should be us. We should be the ones asking the questions. Now, with that
Right.
being said, our superpower is going to be to ask. So we're always going to listen, we're going to respond, and we're going to end in a question. Now, this is going to be a reoccurring thing that we see throughout our entire pattern of excellence. So just keep this in mind. Listen, respond, and ask. Now, our customers are still going to have questions, and that's okay. That's what the call flow was created for, so that they can ask those questions. They're going to ask us those questions and we're going to learn how to control that call where we can fall back into wherever we need to and still get this call taken care of and booked in a timely manner. So we just need to be there to support our customers, to help lead that call, and to focus on getting where we need them to be. Listen, respond, and ask. All right. So now we are starting at the tippity top of our pattern of excellence, which is going to be our positivity. And we wow customers when we're positive because positivity attracts people. I mean, customer service 101, right? If we're negative on the phone, how are they going to feel like our texts are going to act?
Same way that you hear them on the phone.
Totally, right. So positivity attracts people. No one likes to be around that negative Nancy. We feel drained. We feel exhausted when we leave them. We're going to feel better after we get off the phone or we leave a positive person. Now, how long do you think it actually takes to make a first impression?
Immediately, that first response to them calling.
Okay. So you looking at like D, 7 seconds?
Yep.
What about you, Josh? What do you think?
I would tend to agree with that.
Yeah. You guys are correct. 7 seconds is all it takes. And I hate to say it, but that's because we're all out here judging people in 7 seconds.
Bang, Skippy.
And all we've had time to do is say hello. Like, how fair is that? Hey, you need to go out there, please. Okay, let go. Forgive me, guys. My snow day today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, 7 seconds is all it takes. So that tells us that we need to have a very strong greeting. So there are going to be 3 key components when it comes to having a great greeting. Now, Tara, can you go ahead and tell me what your current greeting is?
Hi, this is Tara with Clark Companies. How can I help you?
All right. So how did we do?
Pretty good.
Yeah. Company name, your name, and end with a question. I'd say you nailed it. Now, the one thing I just want to point out, and this doesn't need to be changed by any means, but that how can I help you at the end? Maybe something just to consider. How can I help you is fine, but that's all it is. It's just fine. I mean, we hear it everywhere, right? We hear it at the doctor's office, when we walk into Costco, we walk into Sam's Club. They're going to say, how can I help you? So it doesn't necessarily leave us with much opportunity. So we can say something like, how can I serve you? How can I be your hero? I like the cheesy greetings. I have a company that says, can I make you smile? Even who do I have the pleasure of speaking with leaves a greater opportunity than how can I help you? But like I said, by no means does that need to be changed. If you guys are comfortable with it, that's great. Keep doing it. Just keep in mind that there are a lot of other opportunities that you guys can use that are more open. And of course, pro tip when we're talking about positivity is going to be that tone, right? That pace and that tone. So, Josh, remind me, you guys have call recording or you guys are looking at getting call recording right now?
We're working on that at the moment because one of the marketing places that we work with, they're helping us get CallRail set up because they want it for
okay.
tracking some of their ads. But then
Okay.
also too, it'll help us to see, how things are going on the call side of things as well.
That's right. I remember that now. Yeah. So Tara, when you guys get your hands on call recordings, I encourage you to listen to your calls and just those first 7 seconds, right? We want
Right.
we want you to ask yourself, do I sound kind and do I sound like I want to do I sound kind? Do I sound like I want to be there? Now, if I don't have pace and tone, like you mentioned earlier, it's going to fall into our technicians. If we don't have a good pace or tone, how are they going to expect that technician to be? So at this point, what I like to do is I like to scratch your job title as CSR. You are not just a customer service representative. What you are is a director of first impressions. Nobody gets anywhere without talking to us first. So why not elevate our job title to Director of First Impressions? That's what we are.
Okay.
Okay. So we talked about positivity. How do we sound positive on the phone? How do we sound like we want to be there, right? Now we're going to talk about preparation. And we wow more people, or we wow more customers when we're prepared, because preparation inspires confidence. Now, it's not always just the customers that we want to inspire confidence in. Who else are we looking to inspire confidence in?
Ourselves,
Totally. Who else?
coworkers.
Absolutely. Everyone around us. Everyone in the office. We're inspiring confidence in Josh. Josh, you're inspiring confidence in us. That's the reason we pursue what we're doing day to day, right? We want to inspire in our, forgive me, I should have asked this earlier. You guys probably don't call them technicians. Do you guys call them service specialists?
Mm.
Or
Typically for us, it would be, like our estimator slash salesperson would be who would meet with the client after our office team, makes that first connection with them.
okay. So estimators, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So yeah, we're inspiring confidence in our estimators by getting them prepared to go out to this appointment. So when we're talking about preparation, another thing that I always like to point out is we have to have our daily cup fillers. Now, is there something that you guys do in the morning that you have to do every morning? And if you don't do that one thing, it kind of just throws off your day just a little bit.
Yep.
What is that one thing?
Coffee.
That is the number one answer I get, okay? Is coffee. Josh, do you have something that you do every morning to keep you prepared?
I mean, like for me, yes, like my mornings are fairly structured, pretty similar, but like in terms of me, like I wouldn't necessarily say it's coffee, but like if I don't shower every morning, my morning feels off.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's something as small as like making your bed in the morning. It just,
Absolutely.
it's weird, right? Like the one day, does that mean I make my bed every morning? No, it doesn't. But when I do, I can't tell you how much more prepared I feel for the day. It's weird. So having these daily cup fillers and just recognizing those, that if I do this thing, it's going to prepare me for my day better, is going to help set ourselves up for some confidence as well. And I always like to bring in and just talk a little bit about, you guys football fans?
No.
No, Josh.
Yeah, I'll watch the Vikings some. I don't watch a bunch of other teams, but
Hey,
I'll watch the
Viking,
Vikings.
they killed it this last year. I was extremely impressed with how the Vikings came out. So I like to, when I talk about preparation, I kind of like to tie it to football. If you've ever seen the show Hard Knocks on HBO, it says it all. So I used to think that how cool do these guys get to go out onto a field and play a game that they like to play for millions of dollars a year. I'm like, look, I may be little, but suit me up. I will be a kicker. Okay. No one's going to tackle me being a kicker. So let's do it. And then I watched Hard Knocks and realized how much actually goes into being a professional. They sit in these little, not little rooms, but they sit in these conference rooms and they watch their plays. They watch themselves play over and over and over again. They go out into the field and they practice this over and over and over again. Then they're going to watch their competitors. They're going to draw out their plays. They're going to do everything that they can possible to be fully prepared to play their competitors next week. And the reason I like to compare this is because so often that, well, we're just CSRs, we just answer the phone. That's not true though. We got to listen to our calls over and over and over again. We're going to role play those uncomfortable situations over and over again. And then we're going to have a call flow that if you want to, you can even write out multiple times until you're comfortable with it. The point is here is if you want to succeed, if you want to get those, to move forward to those wow experiences, you have to put in the work. It's not just you come in and answer the phones. It's we're doing something behind the scenes to improve ourselves to get to where we want to be. Now, Tara, being that you are newer with the company and newer with this side of things, is it okay not to know the answer to something?
Yeah,
Absolutely. It's all about how we express it, right?
right. You just got to explain that to the customer in a professional manner.
In a professional way and using the right verbiage is really what it comes down to.
Right.
So there are a few things that can lead to a lack of confidence on the phone. And the first one is going to be phrases like, ooh, I don't know. I'm not sure. Similar phrases I've heard are, I'm not a technician, or I'm not an estimator, or I'm new here. So I like to say there's a bad, better, best when it falls into these phrases. Bad is going to be, I don't know. Better is going to be, I'm not sure. Let me check. And best is going to be, I can absolutely get you that information. Or that's a great question. What we're doing here is we want to be solution driven instead of problem driven. Anytime a customer hears something like, I don't know, they're going to immediately lose a little bit of that trust within us. Or if we say, well, I'm not an estimator. Well, if you're not an estimator, then give me an estimator.
Right.
If you don't know, then give me someone who does know. Kind of like going back to that Verizon example where they're like, oh, I don't have the answer for that. I'm going to transfer you to so-and-so. So just being confident, even when we don't feel it, we can sound confident by changing the way that we approach those situations. And we'll talk more about that when we get into our yes principle. So if you have any examples of phrases or situations where you feel the need to say, I don't know, or I'm not sure, keep those in mind. The second thing that can lead to a lack of confidence is going to be filler words. Now, this is going to be our words, like, okay. Now, listen, I am fully convinced that no one ever gets rid of filler words entirely. I think filler words evolve. So we start with the okay, and then we go to great, and it goes to awesome, and then it goes to perfect, and eventually we're going to learn how to just filter through those filler words so that we're not using them multiple times on a call. Zoom actually has a statistic on there that says if you use a filler word or more than, let's see, an average call is about 3 to 4 minutes. And if you use a filler word 4 times or more, so 1 time a minute, it's considered a filler word. And the third that can lead to a lack of confidence is going to be that pesky dead air. Now, we do have a couple of pro tips that will help when it comes to dead air. One thing we can do is we can just narrate what we're doing. All right, forgive me, Tara. I'm just making sure that I get all of these notes in here so our estimator is fully prepared for what he's coming out to. We can ask additional questions. Maybe we forgot to ask something earlier. Fill it. Now, the absolutely best thing that we can do in a moment of dead air is we can build rapport. Our system's loading slow. Maybe there's a fair coming up this weekend. All right, you guys gonna go check out that county fair that's coming in today? You guys gonna go do something this weekend? Let's see what's coming up next. Valentine's Day just passed, so St. Patrick's Day is coming up. Guys got any plans for St. Patty's Day? Build rapport. Things that we don't want to hear when it comes to dead air is we don't want to hear you trying to start a band on the other side of the phone, or the windshield wiper effect. The or we have those loud types on our keyboard and it just goes blank. Narrate what you're doing. Ask more questions. Build rapport. Create that connection with the customer. All right. So now we've gone to the last 2 principles, the positive and prepared. Those 2 principles are going to be some that are going to continue throughout the entire call, right? There's no way that we can be positive and prepared at the beginning of the call and just drop that somewhere in the middle. So our positive and prepared will continue throughout our entire call. The listen principle here, we wow more customers when we listen because understanding invites connection, is really where we're going to get into that likability. The more that we're engaged, the more likely that people are going to listen to us. And we should never immediately assume that we know what a customer needs. So this is the point where we really want to take that time to hone in onto the situation, into what they called for, why they need us. And this is going to present that opportunity to start all of that connection. You can't connect if you don't take the time to understand. Now, another Stephen R. Covey quote that I really enjoyed is, seeking first to understand in all situations is key to preserving safety and security. And ultimately what he's telling us is, if we create that connection first, they're going to be more likely to tell us what's wrong, to tell us what's going on. And that's going to create that safety and security spot for our technicians to go out there and do their job. So when we're talking about the listen and seeking to understand before being understood, we have to be able to communicate, and we don't want to communicate just to be understood. We want to communicate so that we can't be misunderstood. So surely there have been times throughout the day, whether it's with a friend or a spouse or a coworker, where you guys just had a conversation, you walked away assuming that you knew that they know what you meant to say, and then you guys come back together and there was a miscommunication somewhere. Has that ever happened to you guys before?
All the time.
All the time, right?
Communication isn't key, comprehension is key.
Absolutely. So for example, I just saw this Facebook video, or this video on Facebook, and the son goes up to the mom's door and she has that Ring doorbell. So immediately she's like, hold on, where is it? And he's like, what are you talking about? It's in the back of my truck. And she's like, okay, well, go get it. He's like, Mom, what do you want me to do with it? He goes into the back of the truck and he pulls out a trash bag. He said, what do you want me to do? Throw it in the trash? She's like, what is that? And the kid goes, well, you told me to pick up litter on the way home. So I grabbed a trash bag on the way out of the house. I picked up the litter on the side of your street. That's what you asked me to do. And she said, hold on, Derek, how did you not understand that I needed cat litter? He said, what do you mean? You just told me to pick up litter on my way over here. So I did. You didn't say anything about cat litter. She's like, I really need this. I need you to go back to the store. And he's like, ugh. Okay, fine. Do you need clumping or non-clumping? And he gets back in his truck and he goes. But I found it hilarious because, I mean, this situation happens all the time. Like, she communicated with him to pick up litter, but she didn't communicate to be fully understood, right? She just said, go pick up litter. She didn't say, go pick up cat litter. So he did exactly what he was asked to do and picked up litter on the side of the street. So we want to communicate to be understood. Don't communicate to be misunderstood. So we want the margin of error here to be very slim. And it's going to go back to, I mean, everything that we talked about beforehand. So when we're applying this to our customers, we have to think about the way that we communicate over the phone and how we're going to ask those good questions. So starting off with what's not a good question is going to be, what's your address? Have you ever used us before? Or how'd you hear about us? None of those are going to have to do with the situation at hand that they're calling in with. So we're going to have a set amount of questions for you, Tara, once you get more into this, for the specific situations that we may deal with. And I was talking to Josh yesterday, and he mentioned that you mentioned that there are like some set ranges for certain projects, right, Josh? So most importantly, we want to be project specific. So I like to think of these who, what, when, where, and whys. We can ask, who do we have the pleasure of speaking with? What kind of project are we looking at getting into? When, if, say, the retaining wall situation. Well, my retaining wall's falling down. My patio, oh my gosh, my brain is blanking. Is it stones that they use? We'll just say patio bricks. My patio bricks got all messed up. Okay, when did that happen? Are we looking at the front yard or the backyard? Front patio or back patio? And why is this situation happening? Your retaining wall is falling down. Was there a storm? Is it old? Why? We're going to be able to ask, what are you looking to do? We're going to ask, not necessarily of the what, when, where, and why, but we can ask, a what. It'd be a what. What is the area footage that you're looking at? What's the width? What's the length of the area? What's the cubic foot of the area? So we really just want to get down to the nitty-gritty and find out exactly what they're wanting, because this is also going to help us when we move forward to potentially being able to offer an estimate if that's what they're looking for over the phone. So we want to get all this information as early as possible. Josh, did I miss anything about the questions that we can ask when a customer is calling in?
No, I mean, I would say that's accurate. Like I mentioned yesterday, we don't really give like any exact prices over the phone
Right.
typically.
Right.
But we do try to give like a price range just to kind of
Yes.
make sure everybody's on the same page.
Yes.
Obviously, the price range is project specific depending
Right.
upon what they're looking to get done.
Right. Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss any questions that would be more vital and important for you guys to ask, but I felt like I covered everything at that point. The pictures, we're going to hold off just a little bit on that part. So we're just asking those project specific questions, right, Tara? We're just getting down.
Yes.
Okay. Feel good there. So now we're going to move into one way that we're going to be able to respond. So we're listening to the issue. We're maybe restating the information that they gave back to us. Maybe we respond with some empathy. Now, empathy is a big one because it introduces the idea that everything, decisions are emotionally driven. And we already know what most customers feel when they call in. We can usually address those emotions pretty quickly. What are some emotions that our customers may be calling in with?
Frustration because their retaining wall is falling down.
Totally. I would be frustrated too. Frustration, maybe some positive feelings they're coming with. Maybe they're excited about this patio remodel that they've been planning for the last 3 to 5 years.
Or they just bought a new house and they're excited to spruce it up and make it their own.
Absolutely. Guys, I'm so close to that moment and I can't wait. I already have plans for the garden. I'm so looking forward to it. But yeah, there's so many different emotions that come in when they're calling us. They may be frustrated. Maybe they're upset about something. Maybe a storm happened and they're just maybe frustrated in general. Maybe they just bought that new house. They're excited. They're finally getting to do that project they've been talking about. So there's so many different emotions that come in when they're calling us. And our job is going to be able to identify those emotions to create a more harmonious connection. Now, I'll tell you right now, Tara, this is one thing that I guarantee you none of your competitors are doing, is expressing empathy on every single phone call.
Right.
This is one of the top, most commonly missed principles, but it's also the biggest thing to help build rapport in. So let's talk about just a couple of words here. Oops, go back. So we've got empathy, sympathy, and apathy. I'll give you just a moment to read over those definitions here, and then we're going to go ahead and match those up. And the first one we're going to match is apathy.
Lack of interest, enthusiasm, or concern.
Totally. What about sympathy?
The first one.
Feeling pity or sorrow. Absolutely. And that means empathy is the ability to understand and share another feeling. Now, one thing that I found helpful is that sympathy is more passive. It's not the understanding at all. Sympathy is more of the oh my gosh. Sorry guys, this is
Pregnancy brain. I get it.
Came out of nowhere, didn't it? So yeah. Sympathy is going to be more typically it's seen as advice. It's a feeling sorry from your own point of view. That's what I was trying to get out. Sympathy is feeling sorry from your own point of view, and often it can come off as unsolicited advice or passing judgment. These can be words like, I'm sorry. I understand, at least. Okay. Where empathy, on the other hand, is more active. We're taking the time to understand one's feelings and we're helping them get to the root of the problem. Now, and I used to think that it was extremely difficult to show empathy if I've never been through that situation myself. Like, I don't own my home. I don't have a retention wall falling down. And if my retention wall was falling down, it's not my problem. It's my landowner's problem. So, like, well, how do I show empathy if I've never been through that situation myself? And then I remembered that I'm a big baby when it comes to other situations. For example, I watched Avengers Endgame the other night with my 6-year-old and I cried. Why? Or I watched America's Got Talent with my husband and that one little girl gets that golden buzzer on AGT. And I cry. I'm like, I've never been in those situations. Or Titanic, I've never been on a sunken ship. Why am I all teary-eyed over this?
You're pregnant.
Well, before my pregnancy, though. Well, but what it comes down to is even though I've never been in that situation, I can only imagine what they're feeling. Right? Like in any movie that you may get a little teary-eyed or choked up. Titanic, The Notebook, Marley and Me. You can't tell me you didn't cry at Marley and Me. If you did, you're unhuman.
Never seen it.
Oh, Get Out. Oh my gosh. Don't watch it then, you'll cry. It's sad. But what this tells us is that we're empathetic creatures. Majority of us are empathetic creatures. And even if we've never been through this situation ourselves, we can imagine what that may feel like. That excitement, that fear, that anger, that frustration, that sadness. So there's a lot of different ways that we can still express empathy, even if we've never been through it ourselves. So a couple ways that we can express empathy is through a quick expression of concern. And this is going to be that really quick, oh no, oh my, yikes. Just a real quick, simple expression. We can agree to the gravity of the situation. That's not good. That's horrible. That's terrible. I hate to hear that. And we can also relate and feel for their circumstances without saying, I understand, but instead saying, I can only imagine what you're going through right now. I can only imagine how stressful that is. I can only imagine how frustrating that is. Now, in our area of work, it's not always going to be that negative situation. It's not always going to be my retainer wall is falling down. It's not always going to be the bricks in my patio are all messed up and uneven, whatever the case is. We're going to have people calling in that are excited about the projects that they're working on. So if somebody calls in and they're like, yeah, we're just looking for an estimate for our new patio remodel, how do you think we can show empathy in that situation?
I don't know.
That's exciting. That's great. I could
suppose that
totally
is
do that.
empathy.
Yeah. What if they are looking to excavate some new grounds for a shed that they want to put in? How can we show empathy?
What are you gonna, well, that's exciting.
Yeah, that's exciting.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
We can say something like, it sounds like you're really proactive about this project. That's great. We're just relating to what they're feeling. If they feel excited about a project, be excited with them. If they're going through a negative situation, like the retaining wall falling down, oh my gosh, that's terrible. I hate to hear that you're having to go through this. I hate to hear that you keep tripping on those bricks in your backyard. Let's get this fixed. Expressing empathy in positive and negative ways. So it's possible to express empathy on every single call. Okay, now this is my favorite principle, and this is the one that I said, if you have any of those situations where you feel the need to say no, to keep them in mind. So if you still have them, we're coming to that. So we wow more customers when we say yes, because reassurance builds trust. So we're starting to see that foundation of that listen, respond, and ask. We're listening, we may respond with care, and then we're going to ask an additional listening question. We're listening, we're going to respond with what they told us, and then we're going to ask another question. And then for the third time around, we're going to listen. Maybe we respond with reassurance. And reassurance is going to ultimately build that trust. So the definition of reassurance is to remove one's fears and doubts. So there's going to be a big difference between yes words and no words. So Tara, if you were to call in and let's use that retaining wall example. Your retaining wall is falling down, it's crumbling, it's super old. What would you want to hear? What kind of reassurance would you want to hear to make you feel better about this?
I guess knowing that you guys have worked with this before, that it's something that you can handle.
Yeah, absolutely. We can help. Now, is anyone ever excited to hear what comes after the word unfortunately?
No.
No. Or we can't do that. We don't do that. The best I can do is, well, hopefully we can get it done. Maybe. So looking at these no words, are there any one that you have questions on, or two that you can see yourself running into a situation where you feel the need to use these?
Well, I know they have they only go to certain locations. So if it's outside the perimeter of service areas,
Absolutely.
or just something we don't do in general. What do we, irrigation install?
Okay, let's start with the service area, because that is one of the most common things that I hear, that they're afraid to tell them, oh, we don't service your area. Who do we service? Do we service like a certain city area?
Yeah,
So
it's
like
like
a lot of our work is like Twin Cities, surrounding suburbs, but we'll go anywhere within an hour or two of Elk River.
Okay. Do we, oh, we talked about that last night. Never mind. Don't answer that question. So what we can do is we can say, at the moment, we are only servicing the XYZ area, as we are always hoping to expand our service area. We'd like to go ahead and collect your contact information so that we can keep you guys up to date for when that does change. Can I go ahead and get your address? Or can I go ahead and get your phone number? A majority of the time, we're not going to realize that they're outside of our service area until we get that address anyways. But if there is a time where they call in and say, hey, do you guys service this area? That would be your response. At the time, we are currently only servicing the XYZ area. As we're always looking to grow our service area, we'd love to be able to send you a postcard. When that does happen, can we get your address? Now tell me what the other one was, irrigation and,
yeah, just
So
some of the land.
we actually do some irrigation, but we don't do any like decks or fences. So that would be a
Right.
good example.
don't build decks. We don't build fences. Now let me ask you this, Josh. I'm glad that you're on this call. Do we have anyone that we refer to do decks or fences?
Yeah,
Anyone?
absolutely. We've got some companies that we work with.
Okay, great. So that would be my go-to. So we'll say at the moment, our current focus is on XYZ. We can say, if they're looking like for backyard remodeling, we can say our current focus is going to be pavers and patio remodels, mulching, excavating, backyard renovations, or backyard remodels in general. I have a couple of referrals that I'm happy to refer you to if you're looking for deck building. Can I go ahead and provide you their name and numbers? Or you can just jump right into that. You don't have to tell them, oh, we actually don't build decks. We can say, we actually have some great referral companies that are able to do this for you. Can I go ahead and provide you with a name and a number? Now, one thing that you may get back is they're going to say, oh, so you guys don't build fences? And we can reply with an easy, simple, that is correct. That is correct. I have some great referrals that I'm more than happy to provide you with. Let me go ahead and get you that information. Do you have a pen ready at hand? How does that sound? Or how does that feel?
Very
Yeah,
professional.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the goal here is that we're offering solution-driven responses. What I mean by this is we're not going to dwell on things that we can't do for the customer. We're going to focus on only the things that we can do for the customer. Another thing that we might hear is we're open Monday through Friday, right? Is that what I saw right on the website?
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, open Monday through Friday. If somebody calls in and say, hey, can you guys get a guy out here on Saturday? What do you think our solution-driven response can be, giving a positive and just leaving out that negative? Just focus on what we can do instead of what we can't do. What do you think, Tara?
That I can't, I'm drawing a blank.
That's okay. That's okay. So if somebody calls and they say, can you guys get someone out there Saturday? Instead of, unfortunately, we're not open on Saturdays, I'm going to say, our hours of operation are Monday through Friday. What kind of project are we working on? What are you looking to have done? So no matter what they start the call with, I'm always going to revert back to my listen principle. I'm always going to go back to search to understand why they need us. And 99% of the time, and you'll notice this when you listen to your calls as well, we feel the need to tell them no. And we feel the need to be honest and just say, oh, we don't do that. Oh, you're out of my service area. Oh, we're not open on Saturdays. And I guarantee you, if you listen to those, the 99% of the time that you give a negative, you're going to follow that right up with a positive. This may be one of the most challenging things that you do, but this is my favorite principle to teach because I love to play on the words. So we're just going to remove that negative to begin with, and we're just going to provide that solution-driven response. Now I'm going to give you guys the most ridiculous question that I hope that you would never, ever have a customer ask you. But what I want you to do is I want you to form a solution-driven response, honing in on what we can do. Don't make me any promises that you can't uphold. A customer calls in and they say, yeah, can you get a guy out in a hot air balloon? I'm going to let you guys think on that solution-driven response. I'm going to run to the restroom real quick, and I will be right back with you. All right, guys, what have we got?
I mean, something that I thought, is we could just say that we could come out in a truck or a truck with a trailer or something like that.
Yeah, just tell them what we can do instead of what we can't do. Tara, did you have any other ideas?
No, that would be my only thing.
Yeah. So what I can do is I can send them out with a truck and a trailer. Oh, so you can't send a guy out in a hot air balloon?
No, but we send smoke signals. That's something I would say. Like, I would joke around with the customer as well.
Yeah, right. So yeah, joke around, make it humorous. I did a company in Arizona and they're like, look, we got hot air balloons out every day. I'm sure we can find something. And I'm like, okay, hold on. As cool as that would be, I had another person tell me if somebody asked that, they're like, I'm dedicated to get them whatever they want. I'll buy a kite off of Amazon that looks like a hot air balloon and I'll tie it to the back of the truck to make them happy. And I was like, okay, if you can do that, go for it. Just don't promise anything you can't promise. So yeah, the most realistic answer, Josh, I think you nailed it there, is what I can do is I can send out a truck and a trailer. Very good. Okay, so I want to go back here just a little bit because I wanted to show just our call flow again real quick like. Okay. So we have made it through the first 5 principles. Thank you for calling. Tell me more. That's not good. I can help. Now, the one thing I want to point out to this, Tara, is that these principles, although we want to hit them all in the first 30 seconds to a minute, by no way, shape, or form am I saying they have to be in this order.
Mhm.
You're going to notice that there are going to be times where you're going to say, thank you for calling. How can I help you? And they're going to tell you their situation. Maybe it's a bad thing. And you're like, oh my gosh, that doesn't sound good. Tell me more. We can definitely help you with that. There's going to be times where they're going to ask you, hey, do you guys work on this? We can absolutely help with that. Can you tell me a little bit more about the project? So even though they're listed in this specific order, by no way, shape, or form means that it has to be done in that order. And that's another thing that I really love about our call flow itself, is that you can make it your own in that way. All right, so we are now on booking the call. So now we've hit those first 5 principles. You know exactly what the goal is. And now it's going to time for us to jump into it. Maybe it's not necessarily the booking the call, but taking our next step in action. So we wow more customers when we ask, because asking encourages action. If we want the customer to go with us, if we want the customer to give us something, we have to ask for it. So again, going back to that listen, responding, and asking. And at some point, our ask is going to be for them to move on to the next point. Now, maybe they're asking for a quote. And I'm going to talk about that here as well at the same time. But let's just say that they're looking to get an estimator out there at this time. So we were able to ask all those wonderful probing questions, discovery questions, we may call them, asking them exactly what they're looking for, what kind of project are they working on, reassuring them that that's definitely in our wheelhouse. And now we're asking them, how soon are you looking to have this project completed? Now I know these ones, they say technicians. We can change all of this again. Verbiage is not verbatim. We could say, what's your availability looking like? Is there a day of the week that works best for you? How soon are you looking to have this done? One thing you're not going to see here is you're not going to see me say, well, I have Friday available. Will that work for you? That tends to be a very close-ended question and can also cause an emotional response. As Fridays, all you guys have available, really? That's the soonest you guys can get out here? So when we're asking open-ended questions, the goal here is to, yes, we're leading the call. Yes, we're the ones asking the questions, but we want them to tell us what works best for them. There's nothing more frustrating than working a 9-to-5 job, right? And I mean, not being able to schedule anything because you work a 9-to-5. Trying to get to a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment, setting something up like this, maybe just trying to set up anything within those hours can be difficult. So we want to give them the opportunity to tell us when they're available. Maybe they have a certain day off during the week. Maybe they're going to be on vacation next week and that's when they plan on getting all of this done. So that is why we want to ask more open-ended questions to have them tell us what they want. That's also going to help us from going and doing this whole back and forth movement of, okay, it's like when you call a doctor's office. Okay, I had Monday available. Monday won't work, I have to work. Okay, well, I have Wednesday morning available. That won't work either. I have to drop off my kids. Okay, well, I have this available. They would have just asked me what my time was like. I would have been able to tell them that any Thursday after 1:30, I'm available. And that's the goal here. Now, another action step, maybe if they're looking for a quote, we've already asked all these great questions of what are you looking to do? What's the length, width, cubic foot of the area? The next step may be, can you send me some pictures for us to evaluate to provide you a better estimate? So maybe that's our next step in the process, is asking for those pictures. It's not necessarily always going to be appointment scheduling. It's more of what step do we need to take next? Does that make sense when I say next action step?
Yep.
Okay, great. So if we're doing appointment scheduling, this is something that Power Selling Pros has found works best when it comes to scheduling appointments. Again, this is something that can be adjusted. By no way, shape, or form does it have to be done this way. But what we found is asking that open question of when are you looking to have this project done? They're going to give us what their availability is, and we're going to say something along the lines of, great, let's get your account information. We'll take a look at the schedule together. This is where we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab all of those logistical aspects. Their name, their number, their address. If you do referral source, that's just one of the generic things that we found people ask. We'll look over the schedule with them and ask, we have blank, does this work for you? So step 1, ask the open-ended question. Step 2, ask for their account information. And step 3, does that work for you? Now, moving on to the next step, maybe it is getting some pictures. Josh, I know that you mentioned that our system is super awesome and is really fast. So usually we can type in those parameters and it's going to give us that broad ballpark, which is great. And I love that. Let's say that we do have a customer who called us while they were out at dinner or something and they have to go back home and they have to take pictures in the morning. Absolutely. Can you guys send me some pictures tomorrow? And I'm more than happy to plug these in and give you guys a more broad estimate. Yeah, we can totally do that. Okay, great. I'm going to go ahead and provide you the information for you to text this in. Once I'm able to review that tomorrow morning, when would be a good time for me to call you back to review this? And that can be our other ask. So ultimately, what it comes down to is the listen is the why. Why are they calling in? Why do they need our assistance? And the ask is the next step. I like to say it's the when. Either when are they looking to get it done, or when can we give them a call back to confirm or follow up? Ooh, what is too fast? Okay, simplified call flow. So this is that call flow just up until that point of the ask principle. Now, how often does it happen where we can't meet a customer's time expectation? Does that happen very often?
I would say that that's definitely something with scheduling projects and estimates both during especially the busier times of year. Sometimes we do run into that.
Okay. So occasionally we'll run into where we have that, which is good. Okay, so I want to do a practice with this. Tara, will you be my customer this time?
Sure.
Okay, I'm just gonna have you be my customer. You'll give me a call and okay, yeah, we'll just go like this. Okay, so give me a ring ring.
Ring, ring.
Thank you for calling Clark Companies. My name is Marissa. How can we serve you today?
I have this project. I need this, and this done.
Okay. So it sounds like you're wanting to get your whole backyard patio redone. Can you tell me a little bit more? Is it bricks that you have down there right now? What kind of material are you looking to replace it with?
We just want a stamped patio.
Okay,
with
so
a
we're looking.
fireplace preferably.
Awesome, absolutely. So just a stamp patio around the fireplace, it sounds like. Do you know about how big this area is lengthwise?
No, not at all.
Okay, that is a-okay. We have great estimators that can come out and can evaluate this for you. So you're just looking for that stamp patio. Is there any other projects that you're working on in the backyard? Are you looking to have any mulch down or excavating or anything along those lines?
Not that I can think of, but if they see something that they think would look good, I would be open to the opinions of the estimators.
Okay, absolutely. Well, we can certainly help you with stamp patio. That sounds like a really exciting project. Sounds like you're really proactive on this. So how soon are you looking to have this project done?
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible. Okay. So what I can do is I'm going to first send out an estimator to be able to give you a much broader idea of how much this is going to cost for us. To give you an idea, he's going to come out, he's going to evaluate the area from top to bottom. He's going to figure out what kind of material you got now, if there's anything additional that needs to be done, and he's going to be able to provide you upfront pricing. Now, I know you are wanting to get someone out there as soon as possible, and this is what I can do for you today. So I want to add you onto my urgency list. And what my urgency list is here to provide you faster service. So let's say that one of my estimator professionals finishes up early, or perhaps someone calls in to reschedule. I'm going to be able to move you into that spot. Now, in order to get you on this list, I do need to have you on my next set appointment, which is going to be, let me get my calendar's not pulled up. Friday the 21st between 10 and noon. Can I get you on that next available appointment and add you onto my urgency list to provide you faster service?
Yeah, I can make that work, I suppose.
Okay, great. And I'm going to pause there. What are your thoughts on urgency list?
It's not something we've done in the past, but I'm not opposed to it either. I can definitely see the benefits with it.
Yeah. So this is what we call Plan B when it comes to time objections. If we're unable to meet the customer's time expectation, what can we offer them to still get them on the books? Especially in our busy season, the urgency list is going to be our best friend.
Yeah, I do like that when it comes to like, we have a wait list on my chart for doctor's appointments.
Yeah, exactly.
It just sends you an automatic text saying, hey, this appointment was canceled. Does it work for you? And you just reply yes or no.
Yeah. Okay. Now I love that you just used that word canceled. Now notice that we have highlighted in here rescheduled instead of canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that is?
Because you don't want people thinking that they're canceling on the company. There's
No one
something.
cancels on us. Absolutely not. Nobody ever cancels on us. We just reschedule when we need to. We either finish up early or we reschedule. Yeah. If somebody told me that somebody canceled on them, my first thought is, well, why did they cancel on you?
Yep.
And that's why we want to avoid that word as much as possible. You nailed it. Now, the other biggest piece that I want to point out here is when I'm offering the urgency list is one, I want to explain what the urgency list is first before I give them my next available appointment. As soon as you go into saying, so unfortunately, we can't get anyone out there till Friday, they stop listening. That wasn't the right answer. Instead, I'm going to say, all right, I know you are wanting someone as soon as possible. This is what I can do for you. Now, in order to get you on that, I need you on this date. Can I book you? And then I ended in the question, right? I kept the call moving. Can I book you on that appointment and keep you on today's urgency list to provide you with faster service? So mention the urgency list first, provide the next available, and end with a question. Now, occasionally we're going to have those customers that are going to say, no, I don't think so. I think I'm going to keep calling around until I can find someone. That's okay. We've got one more resource, and we call that the backup plan. And this one is a bit long for my liking. I'm going to read it out, but it's going to say, all right, Tara, I noticed that when we have a full schedule, other reputable companies in the area may also be busy, and I'd hate to see you wait longer for someone else and potentially lose this spot. So let's keep your appointment secure for Friday. I'm going to go ahead and hold your place on the urgency list. And if you decide to make other plans, you can just give us a call back and we can make a change on our schedule. Can we be your backup plan? So this is what we're going to call Plan C for time. And again, what we're doing here is I honestly shorten this up entirely and just kind of cut that first sentence out and say, hey, Tara, I totally hear you. Now, what I would hate to see is wait for you to wait longer for someone to get out there. Let's go ahead and secure your spot for Friday. We'll keep your name on the urgency list. If you do find someone, that's great. Just give us a call and we'll make a change. But can we go ahead and be your backup plan? Keep them on the schedule. Get that customer booked. That is the overall ultimate goal, right? Is to get that customer on the schedule. So at this point, we want to just make sure that we keep Plan B and Plan C separate. The last thing we want to do is just jump to backup plan and then lose the opportunity to add them onto the urgency list. Plan C backup plan is put into use. And if they tell us no again, that they don't want to book and that they want to call around, we can at least let them go knowing that we've tried to use all of our resources. We've attempted everything that we could to save this call. What are your guys' thoughts about urgency list and backup plan?
I like it. I think it's a good idea.
Awesome. Very good. All right. So this is probably my second favorite principle that we're going to get into now, and this is going to be our value. Now, we wow more customers when we create value because value creates commitment. Now, this is a huge difference whether it's on the phone call or not. There's a good chance that your competitors aren't doing this either. So let's just think about for a second, everything in this world that we can buy. There's that one item that we know has a cheaper option out there, but we still insist on splurging on the more expensive item or that option. What is that item for you guys? And I can give you an example. I'm an Oreo snob.
Yeah, I guess there's probably a name brand food that I always buy. Like I
Yeah.
have to have the same coffee creamer.
There you go, coffee creamer. Yeah, like my husband went to Aldi's and he brought home the Aldi's brand Oreos. He's like, they're like $2. And Oreos,
It's
I don't
not
know
the
if they
same.
are up there, but they're like $6 here. He's like, yeah, they were just much cheaper, so I brought them. Well, I told Tara I'm 33 weeks pregnant right now. I was like 23 weeks pregnant when this happened, but I'm like, I have maybe 5 regular Oreos left in my other pack. So I'm like, I'm gonna start with the Aldi's brand. I'm gonna see what I think about it. But if not, I have a backup, right? So I dip one in, I try it. I said, "Ugh, that's not an Oreo." Okay, maybe it's one of those things I just have to try it a second time. Nope, still not an Oreo. Third time's a charm. Honey, you got to go back to the store. I've got 5 regular Oreos and that's not gonna last me. So yeah, I'm like, no, go pay the $6 or shoes. Shoes are another thing. You can go to Walmart and pay $20 for shoes, or I can go to Nike and I can pay 60 for a pair that's gonna last me 3 years.
I can't get shoes to last me 3 years. 3 months.
I must be gentle on my shoes. Tara, you mentioned coffee creamer. Josh, what is your one item that you will pay more for? And you know there's cheaper options out there.
I guess I don't really know if I have anything in particular, but I mean, I totally get what you're saying. You know, anything from food to Kleenex, toilet paper, iPhone versus Android. Like, really, there's so
Okay.
many
Oh,
examples out there. Vehicles,
yeah.
you know, not,
Tires.
yeah, tires, whatever it might be. You know, I don't have anything in particular that comes to mind for myself, but, you know,
Totally.
there's a lot of great examples.
Yeah, totally. I feel like tires is the other big example I hear, especially where we're located at, right? Like we're gonna splurge for those all season tires versus just like the basic tire. But what it all comes down to is that value is just a metric for price. There's this premise that goes out saying that people don't like to spend money in this economy, and I don't think that's exactly true. Maybe it's that we don't like wasting our money. We don't want to waste our money. So we're willing to spend the extra $6, $40 if we see the value in said product. So when we're talking about price, before we mention value, it's actually a huge missed opportunity for us. In fact, what we're doing is we're forcing the customer to make a decision based on half of the information. So when we're talking to our customers, we're looking for these important points of value to create to get them to understand what they're actually buying. So there are 3 general rules when it comes to building value. We want to build value before the price. We want at least 3 points of value. And we always want to end in a question. So I am going to share my whiteboard here, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this together. So when we're building value, we're going to start with the company. Okay, I'll go back to it. We're going to talk about our estimators. I knew I was going to spell that wrong. We'll just put text. And then we're going to talk about the service that we provide. So right off the bat, I asked you earlier, Josh, how long have we been around? And you told me that we've been around for 9 years. What else can we say about the business? Are we locally owned, family owned?
Yeah, I mean, we're a local, small, family-owned business. You know, I would say in terms of cost, we're not typically the cheapest, not typically the most expensive. Probably if there were 10 companies, we would be in the top 5 for most expensive. And I would say we try to pride ourselves on providing a good client experience and obviously having different team members that are dedicated to different roles, even though we are a small business. So, like, rather than just the owner of the company doing every aspect of everything, having people in the office so that we can make sure we can take your phone call, having, an estimator that can come out and get you a quote and manage your project, and having, guys in the field that are trained on the installation side of things. So, having dedicated team members to each aspect of the business to provide the best experience possible.
Absolutely. Now, I love that you mentioned the communication side, that we thoroughly communicate, and we can say that about our techs or our service. Now, you also mentioned that our technicians are trained. Are they insured? Are they licensed?
Yeah,
Back
absolutely.
both of them?
Yep, all of the above.
Licensed, licensed, trained, certified, background cleared. Those are all great things to build value on. Oh my gosh. We pride on our quality. High quality. Let's do that. High quality. We ensure the best communication. Ensure communication. Do our estimators arrive with everything that they need to complete the job?
I mean, that's the expectation. I mean, well, I should say, like, they're not the ones installing the product or doing the work, but in terms of completing the estimate, they're going to show up with their measuring wheel, everything that they need for calculating out the materials that are needed and putting together an estimate.
are going to arrive with all their tools with everything they need to give them the best estimate. I think that's a good one. I think we got a lot of good ones here. Now, there's definitely so much more that we can add on here. One thing that I didn't look at is, and I can look it up here real quick, is what our Google reviews are set at. And we've got a 4.7 star, and we can say that 4.7 stars on Google. I think that's the only thing I didn't look into. Yeah, awesome. Great. Okay, and we have a free estimate right now. Free estimate. And what was the other thing I was going to mention? Free estimate. I made a note here. Maybe that was it. Okay. All right. So we got a free estimate, and then we need to end in a question. So, and this question can be something along the lines of, because we're not going to accept payment up front, we can ask them, are there any parking instructions we need to be aware of? Can you think, do we have a lot of gated communities that we work with?
Not necessarily. I mean, have we ever? Yes, but
Okay.
typically no.
Let's go ahead and put that on there. Are there any gate codes? Are there any parking instructions? I think those would be the best ones. Do you guys offer a call or a text on the way out there?
Typically our CRM will typically send them something.
Okay, we'll automatically do that. It automatically goes out.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so we've got some great points of value here. I'm going to actually copy and paste these into our chat so that you have them, Tara. They will be a great utilization for when you're going through coaching as well. So what my value statement may sound like, let's say that we're going out there to send an estimator on what it's going to be to fix that retaining wall. We have to go out there because they don't know the exact area, length, height, width, all of that. So we're just going to send someone out. I'm going to say something along the lines of, all right, Tara, we're going to send out that estimator out to you tomorrow between the hours of 8 and 10 a.m. We're going to send out a licensed and let's say licensed and background cleared estimator who is going to arrive with everything that they need to provide you with the best estimate. Now, we are a local and family-owned business that has been around for 9 years, so I can assure you that you're going to be in fantastic hands. Now, this is a free estimate for them to come out and give you that best price. Are there any parking instructions we should be aware of when we arrive?
No, just pull right into the driveway.
There you go. All right. How do you feel with that value statement?
Personally, when I get that sales pitch, I think it's annoying.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I've had that sales pitch before, and it's nice to know, but most of the time by this point of the call, I'm ready to just schedule it, be done, and move on with my day. But I also have 2 kids and this, that, and the other thing.
Heard that. Yep, heard that.
You know,
Go ahead.
like I got things to do.
Yeah.
We're at the point, just give me my date and move on.
Now, the best part about the value is I gave a lot more than 3 points of value. By no means does it need to be that much. We really just want to touch on 3 points. So we can say, all right, Tara, we're going to make sure that we send out that background cleared estimator who's going to arrive with everything that they need to make sure that they give you the best estimate. I do want to ensure you that we have great communication between the office, so we'll make sure we keep you up to date with all of the steps. So this is a free estimate. Is there any parking instructions when we arrive?
Yeah, I guess that sounds a lot better because like the background into the company, I feel like as a person calling the company, I would have already done that research.
You would hope so.
Right.
You'd be surprised how many people don't and just Google local companies near me and click the first one on Google.
Fair. I'm not like that. And maybe that's why personally the spiel is not something that I
hear you.
care.
Absolutely. So the best thing about
Maybe
go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe that's something where, you know, you could just simply ask them like, would you like to know some more about our company? Because then like In Tara's example, if she just wants to end the call and get the estimate scheduled, she can say, no, I already did some research on you guys. I don't need any more info at the moment. Like, I'm good. But then,
Yeah.
like in your situation, if you didn't do any research on us and you would like to know some more about us, then we can, happily provide that info. So that might be the easiest solution there is just ask, when we're doing
Right.
this, would you like to know anything more about us, or are there any questions that you have? And then we can just provide that information then rather than forcing it upon them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So another thing with the value is think about it as just restating all of the account info or the appointment information. We're just giving them an idea of what to expect when we get out there. So when I
Right.
3 points of value, it doesn't have to be on the company. It could be just on the technician. Do you guys know who you're sending out there?
Typically,
Usually, yeah.
yes.
So that's even better. So yeah, I'm gonna send out Josh. He's actually got 15 years of experience behind him. You're gonna love him. He's great. That's a value.
Right. Knowing about the technician is more important than just knowing about the company specifically to me.
Sure.
You
Now,
know,
yeah, no, I totally hear you. And there are going to be points where people push back, and they're good resources to have if we get more pushback. And by no means do you have to use those every single time. So knowing
right.
about the estimator or the technician who's going out there, I think is a great point. I like
Mhm.
to, when I'm doing a coaching session with value, I actually go into a little bit about the features versus the benefits. So like the features is what are they going to get out of our service? They're going to get a licensed and trained estimator to come out with all of the correct tools to provide the best estimate. Now, the benefit is the why and how. So the benefit is that we're going to ensure them with the highest quality and with the best quote for peace of mind, or we're ensuring them that they're in good hands. So there's a lot that can go behind the value. So by no means don't let just these little pieces that we talked about today stump you. Let me get back to my screen here. Okay. But that's building value, just giving them an expectation and ending with a question so that we can continue the call on. So we don't feel the need to leave an awkward pause and then have them ask us what's next. All right. And then our final principle of our pattern of excellence is going to be our gratitude. Now, I firmly believe that this gratitude is also similar to that positive and prepared, to where it continues throughout the entire call flow. I mean, what's the first thing that we say when we answer the phone?
Hello.
Or thank you for calling? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, thanks for calling. Yeah. Or even throughout the entire call, the customer thanks us, right? Oh, thank you. Or we thank them for providing the information. Oh, thank you for that. Okay, great. Thank you. Gratitude reinforces unity. I mean, we all like to hear comments left about us, right? Have you ever had a comment left about you in a previous job, Tara? Or anyone tell you, oh my gosh, you've been so helpful. Thank you for helping.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Gives you a little bit of motivation, right?
Absolutely.
And how we make our customer feel is just as important. Forgive me, I'm trying
Right.
to sunburst. Stay behind me. So how we make our customer feel is also very important. So when we also have to remember that it's never just one person. If somebody leaves unsatisfied or they didn't feel gratified on that phone call, word of mouth is the biggest source of referral that we have, and they're always going to take their friends and family with them. So just making sure that we show immense gratitude on our calls. And one way that we can do that is we can brand our call. And when I say brands our call, we can restate the appointment information. We can use the customer's name again. Customers like to hear their name in calls. It makes them feel like they were heard, that they were listened to. I would recommend throwing your name in there again, using the company name and a well wish. So for example, my branding may be, all right, Josh, we've got you all set up for our estimator to come out and take a look tomorrow between 8 and 10 a.m. Again, my name is Marissa. If you need anything else, please feel free to give us a call back. Again, thank you so much for choosing Clark Companies, and you have a fantastic rest of your night.
Pretty much a closing statement, reiterating that you have it scheduled, acknowledging the customer,
You got it. That's
and
exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, AT&T actually did a statistic where they found the last 15 seconds of a phone call can be just as valuable as those first 7 seconds. And that's because they found that customers tend to remember the last thing that they hear more than they remember the first thing that they hear.
makes sense.
And I was thinking to myself, and I was like, you're not wrong. Like when I walk into Sam's Club and the guy says, hey, welcome in, I don't even remember that. I walk in the door, I go and do my shopping. Maybe someone helps me on the floor, but then I get up to the cashier and then I leave. And it's that conversation that I have with the cashier that I remember the most because it's the very end of my experience there. Or same thing when you go get your coffee. When you walk in, it's not, you don't remember ordering, you remember the interaction that you had. So it's the last 15 seconds can be just as valuable as those first 7. So that's why restating the customer's name, your name, the appointment information, and the company name, it's going to stick. It's going to stick with them more. Okay, so here is that simplified call flow. Everything that we just spent the last 2 hours talking about. I want to go ahead and I want to go all the way through this call flow now to give you an idea of what the entirety of the call is going to sound like. Let's see, Josh, you've been my customer a couple times. Tara, do you want to be my customer this time?
Yes.
Yes, I love it. I'm going to get my value points pulled back up here so I remember them. Okay, whenever you're ready, go ahead and give me a ring.
Ring, ring.
Thank you for calling Clark Companies. My name is Marissa. How can I help you today?
Hi, I need a outdoor project done. Pretty much just doing my entire backyard.
Okay, we can absolutely help with that. So tell me more about this project. What exactly are you looking to have redone?
Grass looks spotty, so I want to see if you guys can fill in those spots. Maybe put out a patio, fireplace, a walkway out to it.
Wow, okay.
Maybe even a deck.
I am loving this vision for you. Okay, this sounds so much fun. So you want us to fill a couple of patches of grass in there, or does it look like it just needs a clean slate, or is it just kind of patchy back there with the grass?
It's just patchy. It's kind of where, the dog goes to the bathroom.
Of
So,
course, absolutely. I've got 2 dogs myself. I totally hear you. It's super hard to keep those parts of the yard maintained. But okay, so it sounds like we're going to do a little bit of touching up out there. Do you know about how far back are you looking to have this patio walkway go out?
I'm not exactly sure.
Okay.
Just kind of want it in the middle of the yard type of thing.
And are you looking for like what kind of material are you looking to use? Forgive me, you mentioned the material earlier and I already forgot what it was called.
The stamped something.
Stamp. Yeah. We'll just with that. Are you looking for any specific type of material to be used?
Just the paver stamps is fine.
Okay, great. So we're looking at that. We're looking at a walkway. We're looking at a big circle area for a fireplace. And then you mentioned a deck as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, we can absolutely take care of the grass, the walkway, and the fireplace area. I have some great referrals for deck building, so I'm more than happy to give you their information as well. But let's go ahead and set up a time for an estimator to come out and take a look at this whole backyard for you and give you the best idea of what it's going to be to get started on this project for you. What is your availability looking like?
I work from home, so I'm available anytime.
Okay, fabulous. Well, let's go ahead and get your contact information and we can take a look at the schedule together. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with today?
My name's Tara.
All right, Tara, and my name is Marissa. It's a pleasure to meet you. All right, Tara, what is that address would be coming out to?
1101 Lake Street North in
Oh,
Big Lake.
beautiful. The phone number you called in ending in 1234, the best phone number for you?
Yes.
Fabulous. And then what's a good email address that you can send that invoice or send that estimate to?
My last name, Stang, Tara, 71 at Gmail.
All right, last name, first name, 71 at Gmail. Got it. All right, well, thank you so much for that information. Was able to take a look at the schedule here, and it looks like we have some time available tomorrow afternoon between 2 and 4. Would you be available at that time?
Yep, I can make it work.
Fantastic. All right, Tara. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to send out Steve. He is one of our best estimators with the crew. He's been with us for about 6 years now, and he is very great with communication. He's going to arrive out there with everything that he needs to provide you with the best estimate. He's going to do this full evaluation and provide you with the best price up front. Now, are there going to be any parking instructions when he arrives?
Yeah, just make sure he pulls to the left of the garage.
Left of the garage. We can do that for you. I will make that note here so that he pulls to the left of the garage. But other than that, Tara, is there anything else that we can look at while we're out there?
Yeah, I mean, I just want the whole backyard redone, so I just want an idea of what they think we can do.
Absolutely. Well, if you have any like Pinterest pictures or house pictures that you want to reference to, feel free to bring those with you. Steve is amazing. He's going to make sure that you have this vision come to life. So we will make sure that we are out there tomorrow between 2 and 4 p.m. Tara, Steve is going to be so excited to work with this for you. Again, my name is Marissa. If you're needing anything else, but I want to thank you so much for giving Clark Companies the opportunity to make this vision come to life, and you have a great rest of your day.
You too, thank you.
Thank you. All right. How did we feel? What did we think?
I would say it was overall pretty good. Obviously, this is something where, you're not super familiar on our office side of things, but it would be something where typically we would try to provide them like some rough pricing if
Sure.
possible. So we might say, say like a typical full backyard renovation, maybe we would say is anywhere between 25,000 and 50,000, or we might
Okay.
say, an average patio is 5,000 to $10,000 or
Sure.
something like that is usually what we'll say if they don't have any approximate measurements or like a rough guess at the size of the area.
Yeah.
Um, or even like some photos that we can send. Because if they have photos or like a rough guess at the size of the area, we can get them a little bit more detailed of a price range.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. So just asking those, that can definitely be done in that listen principle as well. Um, so yeah, asking more of that. Now, the next thing we were going to go into is price shoppers, which isn't going to be too much for you guys because you guys are going to go ahead and provide that price. So would you like to go ahead? Can you be my or can you be my CSR? Can you kind of show me how you guys would do that? And I can provide any tips and tricks off of your example. You feel comfortable going through that?
Me or Josh?
Josh.
Which one are you referencing? Sorry.
Just so we would typically go over next, but I don't feel like that's going to be much for you guys because you guys are going to be giving those prices up front.
Yeah,
Uh,
most of our clients, I mean, if they call in, they're either really understanding of the fact that we need to come out to get them a price. Some of them actually would be more comfortable, or that would be their preference.
yes.
But that said, yeah, I mean, we don't really get a whole lot of people like calling in trying to get a price over the phone. Most of them understand that we need to come out and take a look in person.
Yeah.
So really, if we give them even a price range over the phone, they're typically pretty satisfied with that even.
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to people who are calling in and they're wanting a price, I guess this part plan A would be more of what you guys are going to be doing. So if someone calls in for a price and they say, "Hey, yeah, I'm just calling to see how much it's going to cost for like a full backyard renovation," we're going to say, "Absolutely, we can help you with that. Can you tell me more about what you're looking to do?" You say whole backyard renovation. What exactly are you entailing? And they're gonna say, yeah, my grass is blotchy and I need a walkout, and then we want to do a patio around a fireplace and all of that good stuff. And we're gonna say, yeah, we can absolutely help with that. Um, and you guys would most likely go straight into, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna send out an estimator just to confirm all these details for you. But we're gonna get as close down, or we're gonna give you a pretty broad estimate of what this may look like, and then we're gonna get that certified and trained estimator out to you to do a better down to the penny estimate for you guys. Now, how soon can we send somebody out there? And we'll still go into getting all of that information for them to provide that broad price range. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right, great. Yeah, we've got a couple minutes left. I hope I covered that well enough for your expectations. I know that we're offering the price over the phone, which is a little bit different, but we can totally do that. I love that we have that system. So just for an example, Tara, I'm going to go back to our call flow here.
And we're not trying to give them an exact price over the phone because that's kind of something where we're shooting ourselves in the foot usually. Because then
Right.
when we get out there, it never matches what we would give them over the phone. But
Yeah.
if we can give them a broad price range, at least if if they think it's going to be $20 and it's $200, or if they think it's going to be 200 and it's 2,000, or 20,000 and it's $200,000, well then at least we're kind of making sure we're both in the
Yes.
same ballpark, kind of
Yeah,
have
absolutely.
similar expectations.
So I
So
just
it just kind of
want to-
makes sure everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, so I just want to rephrase this last half of the call flow just to kind of show you how I would implement that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to say, all right, yeah, I can absolutely help you with that, Tara. It sounds like this is a great project that you're working on. You've got a lot going on here. So when were you looking to have that estimator out?
Next week sometime.
Okay, next week sometime. Absolutely. All right. So I'm going to have Steve come out. He's one of our top estimators. He's been with us for 6 years. He's going to come out and have all of the tools to give you that down to the penny estimate. Now, just to kind of give you an idea or a good range of what we're looking at, we're looking anywhere, a backyard renovation like this can run anything from about 25 to 50,000. Besides the grass, the patio, and the walkout, was there anything else particular you would like me to have him look at while he's out there?
Just kind of some plants that we wanted to put in maybe around the
Awesome.
house or edging around the patio. Just other intricate things that would spice it up a little bit.
I love it. Absolutely. That is definitely something all within our area we can take care of for you. So we'll make sure to get Steve out there to evaluate and to give you better ideal pricing. Is that sounded more like what we would do, Josh, for someone who's just looking for an estimator to come out?
Yeah, I would say that's accurate. And I
Okay.
know, like I mentioned yesterday, the broader the price range that we can give them, honestly, the better. Again, we're not trying to give an exact price over the phone. And the more broad of a price range or wide of a price range that we provide, the less likely that the estimator is going to come out and give a quote that is, say way more than what they provided over the phone. Because
Right.
typically clients are pretty unhappy if somebody on the phone says, yeah, it's going to be 5 to 10,000, and the
Yeah.
estimator comes out and gives them a bid for 20,000, they're like, well, this is double what I was told on the phone. So
Sure.
if we get the wider the price range we can give them, the least likely that that's going to happen.
Awesome. And Tara's gonna have some sort of reference for her to be able to give those broad.
Yeah, we
Yes.
have pricing on everything, so.
Love that. Okay, great. And then of course you guys have your system, but if they don't have the square footage and stuff, that can be difficult. But as long as you have a reference, Tara, that's great. I think you're going to do great with being able to do it. So I would just recommend throwing that price in there. We would usually throw in any pricing at our value statement. So even we can say we build that value like I did. Steve's going to come out. He's been with us for years. Value point 2, value point 3. Now for a full backyard renovation like this, we're looking somewhere between X and Y. Now, are there going to be any parking instructions that you'd like me to make Steve aware of? And we'll just go into it that way. So your value statement is going to be the best opportunity to place that estimate in.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Very cool, guys. Well, I don't want to take up much more of your time here. I'm about 2 minutes over. So what I like to do, Tara, is I like to have you write out just a stop, start, and continue. Bring this to your coach. Let them know what you're excited to learn about with coaching, what you're going to stop doing, what you're going to start doing, and what you're going to continue doing after our 2 hours together today. And then other than that, I want to thank you guys both for sitting through 2 hours with me. I know it can be treacherous at times, but we did it and you guys did it and it was awesome. So if you feel free to scan this QR code, this just lets our training know kind of what we're doing. If there's anything you wish we would have covered or anything you wish we would have done differently, all feedback is great feedback. So appreciate all of that. But other than that, is there anything else that I can assist you guys with in the meantime?
No, not me.
Awesome. Josh, do you have anything I can help you with?
No, I don't think I have any other questions at the moment. I feel like you covered kind of everything in terms of the best ways to go about handling calls and such, and just kind of the best way to go about it, I guess.
Beautiful. Awesome. Well, if you need anything else in the meantime, I am going to wait for this recording to download that sent out to you have that copy. And it looks like you will be working with Chloe. Have you met with Chloe yet?
No.
Oh, of course, she called and left you a voicemail today while we were chatting. So she called and left a voicemail, well, probably while we're on this. So she'll be reaching out, she'll be chatting with you, and she'll be the one that will be your primary point of contact after this.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So well, thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. You have a fantastic rest of your day.
You as well.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Bye.